Kena, ia kuki mai ki rene.
Nā tāne ki te tāne wāhi. Hei hini mahi ki, me ke arekone ki te mo manuhere. Arekone.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou. Koutou kua eke mai nei, kua tai mai. Ko nā waiata mana kai kore o manuhiri nā koutou. Kai runga i te atamira nei. Tēnei tō tata nei kura. Te kura Māori Porirua ki te miri atu ki a koutou. Ki te pōhiri ia ki a koutou. Nei tātou ki te mea te kia koutou tēnei ata. E noho tātou i runga tingua o tapu o te matua te tamatawa e tapu me ngā ana re pono me te moanga ngā ari ki te kai waka marama ki te kororetanga i o ngā mano. Te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa, te kai humai, te kai tango. Tēnei tātou i tēnei rangi. Noho pai, noho mai i roto o tātou nei huihinga, e te huinga e noho. Te mea tuatahi māku, i runga tēnei kaupapa Pōwhiri. Ai kia whai korore hone re haringa kia i o ngā mano. Te kai homai, te kai tango. Te kai homai o ngā tini manakitanga o tātou nei kaupapa. Mai e te timatanga. Te whakaaro o tēnei huihuinga o tēnei wānanga. Mai te timatanga o tēnei ata, o tēnei rā, te pua te ata. Ai, whakataka te hau, whakataka te hau ki runga. Ai, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā tara ki tai. Kia hi ake ai te ata kura, he huka, he tiu, he ata kura. Tēnei tātou e tēnei rā. Whakatōkia tanākau, pai, ki ngā atua, ki ngā kaihanga, ki ngā kaitiaki. Whakatau mai, roto nā tini manakitanga, o tātou ariki, i roto o tātou nei wānanga. Nau mai, whakatau mai. Nau mai, haere mai. I tēnei huihuinga. Nau mai, haere mai. Ki te whangnua tara tūpoko te ika. Nau mai, haere mai, hoki mai. E tahi o koutou ki pōneke. Ki tēnei ui atau, o nā hunga rangatahi, nā tai ohi, nā tai tamariki, nā mokopuna, nā rangatira moa popo. Nau mai, ara mai, i rau te maru, o te atiawa, te iwi, kai te tūau ki te miatu kia rātau, nā whanaunga iwi, mai a kupe, nā whanaunga iwi o tēnei roe, nā ti toa rangatira, nā ti raukawa, ki atiawa, Rangitāne. Ka mea tu ki au koutou. Nā mea tu ki au koutou e ngā mana e ngā reo. Nō nā hau e whā, nō nā tai e whā. I runga te karanga o te rā. Nau mai, piki mai, kake mai, o mai tau ai ora. Tai mai nā manuhiri tuarangi, nā manuhiri rongo nui, kei wainua tātou. Nā reira, ka tuake au ki te miatu ki tō tātou nei minita. Tari tai oi, a tātou nei manuhiri e tuake. Ki te tū kōrero, ki te pū kōrero, i nā kōrero Waka nui te kaupapa. Nā reira, nau mai, hara mai koutou. Koutou katoa e tauna i tēnei rā. Nau mai, hara mai. I raro te maru oki o nā rōpū e whakakoe ana, e whakakotai ana i tēnei kaupapa. Mā wai, mā nā hunga taiho i rangatahi, nā rangatira moa popo. Koe nei mātau, nā pakeke, nā kaumātua, nei mātau, nā kai arihi, o tēnei wāhanga, mana taihohi. Nā reira, nau mai, aere mai, hoki mai, ki tēnei kaupapa wakahirihiria. I raro nā wairuatanga o nā mātua o nā tūpuna. Ko rātau i runga nā pokohiwi o etahi o tātau. Nau mai, hara mai. E ngā mana o nā iwi katoa te motu. Koutou mai i tai tokarau, tai rāwhiti, tai auauru, te tai tonga. I hoi mai ki tō tātou nei kaupapa. Nau mai, whakatau mai. Nau mai, aere mai. Ane a tātou nei marae. I te tonu ki ngā marae katoa o tēnei rohi. O te mana wenua, o te tangata wenua, a tātou. Tēnei te reo pōwhiri ki a koutou katoa. E nā mana e ngā reo. O e ke mai nei ki tēnei kaupapa nui o tātou. Anei tātou nei manuhiri i runga te atamira ma koutou. Mi ati ki a koe Judge Peacock koutou. Me te pakeke Lloyd mā, John Harrington mā, nā tangata rongonui ki waini a tātou. Me nā tātou nei whaia, e arihi, e awhi a mātou. E waini a tātou, nā tātou nei minita, mi atu ki a koe. O runga tēnei kaupapa e tēnei rā. Ai, poto te kōrero, poto te tangata. Tēnei tātou, nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. nei ngā reo. Ai kia mau mahara ai tātou kia rātou o ki ai. Kia rātou kua wetu Rangiwhia. Anā pakeke kaumātua. A tātou nei karaua. Uirangi. Wai kere pūru o ki. Rātou mā. Ko aere ki tua te arai te kainga titiro o ngā tangata. Ko rātou pakeke kaumātua kua oki ai. Tainu atu ki a rātou e hinga atura i te wānui a tāne. Te wānui o ngā iwi. Te wānui i te iwi mōri o ki. O rātou kua aere i te torona o ihoa. Aere ngā mate. Aere. Apiti hono tātai hono. Te unga mate ki te unga mate. Apiti hono tātai hono. Te unga ora ki te hunga ora. A tātou nā kanu i ora. A tai nā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Tēnā tātou katoa. E noho kahuri.
Ina tini mati o te tau, o te Marina o te wā, koutou kua wihi whitu Rangiwhia ki te korowai o Rangi Nui. Koutou kua wihi atu ki te pō, ki te tau o te ārai, ki te oki nā o tō tātou tiki, haere atu rā. Āpiti hono o tātou hono, te hunga mati ki te hunga mati. Āpiti hono o tātou hono, te hunga ora. E nā mana whenua i tēnei rohi, e te Aotearoa, e tū mā rohi ana koutou, nō runga i te rangi. Nā mātou te whiwhi i ko tātou hainga mai i tēnei takiwa, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Ki nā manu te ori, nā ui i tāranga, ka mihi ki a koutou, ki nā rangatira waha pū kōrero o tēnei takiwa, ki nā koe maki ana me nuki aku. Ki nā kai wāta, kai taupo, kai manaki, nā rangatahi tō o te kura kaupapa o Porirua, nā me nui ka koutou, ki tō whānui, nā mihi nui. E tūake au, he māngai mō tō tātou tōpū, mō nā kaimahi rangatahi ki nā hauri whao o Aotearoa, e kōrero ana mō nā tirohanga maha puta noa i Aotearoa, hei tautoko i te hauora rangatahi. Ka hui mai maha tātou i ko nei, kia nohotahi, kia akotahi, kia whakarongo, kia whakawhanaunga, i tūtaki i ngā tangata katoa. E ai ki te whakataupo. Māhia te mahia, hei paina mō te iwi. Ki waina nui ki tēnei kaupapa, i roto i tēnei ruihui nā, hei paina mō nā rangatahi, nā kaimahi rangatahi rāna. ki rā, e tika kia mihi atu kia mihi mai. Nō reira e roiranga tēnā mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou kāpua.
Ka tuaki au ki te mia tuki au koutou. Ko oki mai te mauri kia mātau. Ka te mia tuki au koutou ki o koutou whakaaro. O nā hunga taihoi, nā hunga kaimahi, ngā rangatahi, e tahi o te rōpū, ngā rōpū mā koutou, tēnei taonga e Waka. E Waka a Tuwhare-Hoani, e Waka e whakaaro ki tō tātou nei kaupapa o tēnei huihuinga. Nā reire ka mia tu ki au koutou. Ki au koutou e ngā whanau o ngā mautere, ki au koutou e ngā rōpū o te motu. I hara mai o koutou koha, mā te wā, a tō tātou nei minita i whakatū te Waka, i tautokongia a tātou nei hui, i whakatūwhera a tātou nei hui. Nā reira, e te manu kōrero, e te pū kōrero, ka mia tu kia koe, ki tō whakaaro nui. Ai, a ka tika e whakatakoto te whakaaro kōrero mō tātou. Ai, i runga nā piki ake o tātou nei huinga. O tēnei huinga e whai i nā kaupapa a nā pikitanga mō nā hunga kaiohi, kai mahi, nā hunga taiohi, mā rātau, nā tamariki mokopuna. Nā reira, mō tātou tēnei rā. Kia whai te piki te ora, piki te kā māmatanga me te rangi māriatanga. Te ai o tanga, mana hunga taiohi, kei ngā rohe, kei ngā hapori o mātau, i te rohe. Nō reira, koe o koutou waka. O nā kaupapa o te waka, e kapene, me nā kai hoi, hei mahitahi. Hei mahitahi. Kei runga te waka hoki, nā tohunga pukenga, ki ngā kaupapa, ki ngā āuatanga o te wairuatanga, ki ngā āuatanga o nā pukenga, ki te wai, ki ngā manu, nā reira, whakatau mai koutou e ngā manu katoa e ke mai i tēnei rā. Nā reira, te nā koutou, te nā koutou. Te nā koutou, me tōku nei Kura, mā rātou nei tautokotanga i runga te kaupapa. Ko rātou nā te rōpū toa i runga te atamira o te whanganui ātara. Hei kapa haka mana kura tuarua o tēnei roe. Mai a pōneke ki o taki. Ko rātou he kura e hapaitia o tātou nei reo rangatira, o tātou nei reo wairua, o tēnei wenua o Aotearoa. I raro o te maru me nā tikanga, nā waiotanga a koroma kui mā. Nā reira, koe nā te whakaaro kōrero nā te whatumanoa nā te nā kaupai o tēnei pakeke. Mā rātau, kai te hariko te nākau ki te a rātau tautoko ki o tātou nei huihuinga i tēnei rā. I hapai rātau te hoi. I hapai rātau te hoi o te waka. Nā reira, rōre ki te atua, maungarongo ki te oenua, whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Nā reira, tēnei mātou, tēnei taha. Ai, wakataka te hau ki te uru. Wakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia makina ki nā ki uta. Kia mataratara ki tai. Kia iake ana te atakura e tio, e huka, e hauhu, ti e mauri ora. Mauri ora tātou katoa. A tēnei te wā, tāhuri tātou ki tō tātou nei kai waka aere o tātou nei hui. I tēnei wāhanga, i te kōrero mō tātou, i mua tātou nei minita, i mua tātou nei kaupapa wakaheiri. Nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Te a koe, Jane.
I ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā hui whā, tēnā koutou, talawhalawa, maloe leile, bulawanaka, ni hao, nau mai, haere mai, ki tēnei hui, Involve 2021. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. Ko waio, no Roselia ahau, ko tau iwi me tangata tiriti ahau, ko te kaiwhakahaere ahau o te whānau arataiohi, ko Jane toku ingoa, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. My name is Jane, and I have the privilege of being the CEO of Arataiohi, the peak body for youth development in Aotearoa, and the lead organisation for Involve 2021. On behalf of the Involve partners, the Collaborative Trust, the New Zealand Youth Mentoring Network, and the Society of Youth Health Professionals Aotearoa New Zealand, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Involve 2021. Involve is our biennial conference for the youth sector, where we get to meet around our shared kaupapa for the well-being of the young people of Aotearoa. Whether it is your 8th time here or your first, you are welcome. Whether you are young yourself or you have aged out and are now youth adjacent, or you are young at heart, you are welcome. I honour the officials in attendance, including our kaumātua, our Minister for Youth and the Children's Commissioner, who I am sure will agree with me that the people who make the most difference for the young people of Aotearoa are not sitting on this stage, but are sitting in the seats of this auditorium. Nau mai, haere mai, you are welcome. I mentioned that Involve happens every 2 years, and most of you will know we should have been here a year ago in this auditorium. Like everyone else, the Involve team needed to pivot in response to the pandemic last year, and we ran a digital conference. The decision to break with the 2-year cycle and run our hybrid conference this year, both online and in person, was a challenging one. I want to acknowledge the support of all our funders that enabled us to do this, and in particular to Heringa Haora, as it was their decision to be a major sponsor for the Involve conference last year online, and then to recommit as a major sponsor for this in-person and online conference this year, that gave us the confidence to do what our hearts already knew, that if at all possible, meeting kanohi ki te kanohi face-to-face was needed now more than ever. Which leads us to this moment right now. In my opinion, the most underrated and important of community sectors is the youth one. Likewise, within government, one of the most understated yet important of portfolios for the well-being of our rangatahi and their whānau is the one held by the Minister for Youth. It is my pleasure to introduce our Minister for Youth, Minister Priyanka Radhakrishnan, who will formally open our conference. I ngā mana, i ngā reo, rau rangatirama, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you, Jane. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all today and to open Involve 2021. Can I begin by acknowledging mana whenua of this rohe? Thank you for the beautiful Pōwhiri. Can I also acknowledge Judge Andrew Beecroft, the Children's Commissioner, who is here today. I want to thank Arataiohi, the New Zealand Youth Mentoring Network, the Society for Youth Health Professionals Aotearoa New Zealand, and the Collaborative Trust for all the hard work that has gone on behind the scenes for all of us to get to where we are today, sitting here and being part of this conference. Can I also acknowledge the many supporters of Involve, Te Heringa Haora, the Health Promotion Agency, Wellington Community Trust, o Rangatamariki, my Ministry of Youth Development, the New Zealand Drug Foundation, LAVA, and the Electoral Commission. And can I thank everyone from those organisations for their support of this conference as well. Can I just say as well how great it is to see all of you here today in person, to see so many young people here today, youth workers, youth sector representatives here in the room. Can I thank you for bringing your mana to this conference? And can I also thank you in advance for the many contributions that you will undoubtedly make over the course of this conference. So as I was thinking about what I could say here today that might add a little bit of value to the conference, I reflected on why we're all here today. Our young people, our rangatahi. As Jane mentioned, some of you are here in the hall, some of us are at best youth adjacent, and some of us who are here today are absolute stalwarts who have worked over years in the youth sector as well. We're all bound by our common vision, which is for our young people to be able to thrive. That's what's brought us all here today, whether we're on stage or sitting in the audience. We have about 800,000 youth in Aotearoa, New Zealand. That's those of you who are between 12 and 24, and that's about 17% of our total population. Our young people are of different ethnicities, different faith communities, perhaps not even in a faith community, speaking different languages, belong to different or identify differently in terms of different gender expressions, sexual orientation. Some are working, some are studying, some are struggling at school, some are thriving. Some are dreaming big, and some don't have the luxury of knowing how to dream. Some are grappling with social norms at school or at work that are quite different from that at home. Some fit in everywhere, some don't fit in anywhere at all. What this tells us is the diversity of our youth, that our young people are incredibly diverse, and so are their circumstances and their needs. My role as the Minister for Youth is to be their champion in government, to understand the challenges that our young people face, the opportunities that are available to them, to highlight some of the awesome things that our young people do and the youth sector do as well, and to support them, you, alongside my ministerial colleagues. Our government's goal is to make Aotearoa the best place to be a child and a young person. Our child and youth wellbeing strategy sets out a shared understanding of what's important and the steps that we need to take as government to achieve that, and how we work with others along the way as well. That strategy is supported by 75 actions, 49 supporting actions, and is delivered or led by 20 government agencies. One of those actions is the youth plan that I lead. It's focused on mitigating the impacts of COVID-19 on our rangatahi. And although COVID has presented many challenges, it's also given us the opportunity to pause, to reflect, to look at how we might do things differently. And so I reflect on this year's theme for Involve 2021, our Waka New Seas. It is a good reminder of the importance of reflecting on who we are, who we share our waka with, how we collaborate, and just as importantly, the why. And the why is our rangatahi. As Minister for Youth, I'm committed to being a strong advocate for our young people across Aotearoa, New Zealand. I want to support opportunities for rangatahi to engage positively with their communities, to strengthen their personal identity, and to increase their sense of self-worth. Young people have consistently told government that they want to be heard, listened to, and valued. And the Ministry for Youth Development is looking at different ways in which we can engage with our young people and the wider youth sector more regularly. Our collective voices are important. The youth plan is a key lever for me
to ensure that the voices of our young people are turned into action. But equally, we all have a part to play to ensure that the outcomes of the youth plan are met. My vision for Aotearoa is for us to become a society where everyone feels safe, valued, heard, has a sense of belonging, and is able to participate across every aspect of society. And our government's playing a part in this, as we should. We have a role to play to address the issues that affect our youth, early access to mental health services, mental well-being more broadly. Work to address the housing crisis, including options for young people. We're banning conversion practices because we know they cause harm and often disproportionately affect our youth. We're funding youth development, youth enterprise, and youth entrepreneurship programs sit in the intersection between positive youth development, education, and the world of business and work. And we're doing that because we know that our youth are amongst the hardest hit in the post-COVID work environment. I understand that ministry officials and the Prince's Trust New Zealand are facilitating a workshop during this conference where they will be sharing their insights, learnings, and more information about Te Kete Aranui, which is a youth enterprise outcomes framework that was jointly developed by the Ministry, the Prince's Trust, and Creative HQ. I also want to highlight just very quickly the work of the Hive, which is an initiative supported by the Ministry of Youth Development that aims to get young people's perspectives integrated into and engaged, or young people engaged into the government's policy process as well. And I understand that some of our Hivers may be here today and taking a workshop during this conference as well. That's important to me because involving the youth voice in government's work is important to me. That's how we collectively get it right. But I want to conclude today on a note of gratitude, and that is to all of you who work at the grassroots with our rangatahi, the work that you do, keeping them safe, keeping them motivated, working with them to achieve and to be their best. That is crucial, mahi. That often goes unappreciated. And I want you to know that it is seen, it is recognized. And I want to acknowledge here today just how important that is in terms of the wider picture and the work that we're all doing to support our rangatahi. So a huge thank you for the work that you all do day in, day out. Enjoy the conference. I hope you get a lot out of it and the connections that you undoubtedly will make with one another that I know will stand you in good stead. I'll end with a whakatauki that I feel is particularly poignant today. Mā te huruhuru karere te manu. Adorn the bird with feathers and it will fly. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Radhakrishnan. We appreciate your thoughts, your insights, your reflections, the championing you do daily, and that of your ministry as well. Every year in May, we celebrate Youth Week. This year, the theme chosen by rangatahi was We Are Stronger Together. Hundreds and hundreds of young people throughout the motu have completed strips of paper that have been woven together to honour the theme of this year's conference, Our Waka, New Seas. The waka you see in front of you is this waka. This koha comes with a wero to our sector, that during the conference, each of us has the opportunity to complete a similar strip that will be woven into sheets that will sit in the waka. Together we are stronger, and together we are navigating new seas. The waka has been made by the young people from the Rangatahi Te Rangatira Youth Group from Carterton. I'd like to invite Alex Hallam from this group to come forward and share some of the whakaaro from the waka, after which the rangatahi will be presenting to the Minister and our Children's Commissioner a sale for the waka. Alex.
Navigators, leadership, wāhitanga, proud, happy, independent, and doing our best are just a few of the words woven through this waka. I stand here today not for myself, but for ora rangatahi here in Aotearoa, because our voices matter, our worldviews matter, we matter, and we deserve to be heard. My name is Alex Hallam, and this one's for our rangatahi.
Ngā mana, ngā reo, ngā rangatira, ngā kuia, ngā hau e whā, tēnā koutou, mihi mai, karanga mai, nā mihi nui, nā mihi mahana, mō tā waka, mō nā taiohi o Aotearoa. On behalf of us all, I thank you for the gift of this waka that will stand, I guess, metaphorically, as a guide for us, as a reminder of the need for sacrificial and enthusiastic service as we walk alongside our young people in New Zealand. It is a canoe that has great words on it. Words like disruption, participation, joy and hope. And this will stand in the Wellington wind. The sails will have no trouble being filled. It will guide us to distant horizons, our waka, new seas for us to claim and walk with our young people. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Thank you, Judge Beecroft. I just want to acknowledge that you do the waka as you will when you work with your young people, and you create a waka for you and your young people. For me, as mana whenua, we see a double whole waka, tiriti o waitangi and tangata tiriti. So there are many views that you can have of the waka, but there are many essentials that get a waka to move across the new seas. And so we have many challenges ahead of us within Aotearoa, not including the mate uruta, COVID-19, but the need to honour and acknowledge one another. Yeah, be kind. And so, ngā mea tu kia koutou, we can't hariru all of you, and our tiatiawa kawa is that we usually hariru first thing before we do anything, based upon our tikanga from whiti and tohu. And for our, that's part of the tikanga, but for now, rather than honging every one of you, we will hongi representative of you here upon the stage and then we'll have our break with our young people. First, we'll ask them to show us some of their prowess. I'm so proud of them, our kura that have come today. Especially went to tono for them to come and awhi us. And so I love that. I love that they present to us a few items before we break out. Kia ora mai. Kia ora whānau, we're just going to karakia mo te kai to whakanoa the kaupapa, so a representative of rangatahi to rangatira will do our karakia.
E tō mātou mātou e te rangi, whakamoemiti, anei mātou, kia koe mo e nei kai, āmine. Kia ora.
Check. Kia ora whānau, we're going to have our young people perform here. If you want to watch them now, they're our champions, and that's why we got them. Because you'll get distracted by a kai if you do we did up there. Kia ora.
Just so people are aware, so there's morning tea happening right now, so if people would like morning tea, you're more than welcome to grab morning tea, or if you'd like to watch the performance of our awesome Kura, you're more than welcome to stick around and watch their performance, as well as head on back out and grab some morning tea. We'll be gathering back in here in about half an hour. Kia ora.
Do a sound check, hold check. Is that a good volume? Testing, testing, testing. Are you comfortable with that volume? Kia ora.
Hi. Kia ora, my name is Arihia. I'm a Sagittarius. I am 19 years old. Okay. Growing up. When a baby is born, the first thing it hears is the voice of a woman, resembling the sound of a mother giving birth. It's good. Louder? Project or up the volume? Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you. That should be good. Yeah. Who had lungs as deep as oceans, spines aligned with the walls of the whare, they will sing you stories just like the ones that I have been told. Go.
Testing, testing. So within like the next 6 months.
Tūia ki te rangi, tūia ki te whenua, tūia ki te moana, tūia te here tangata e here nei, hei here ngā kotahi. Ti hei, Māori ora, ti hei, Māori ora, ti hei, Māori ora. Kia rana, talofa lava, maloe lelei, whakalofa lahi atu, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome to Involve 2021, our Waka New Seas. This is a time for us to reunite with those that we have connected with over the past few years in our journey on our Waka for youth work. Nō reira e raurangatira mā, could you please make some noise for Involve 2021, everybody? Introducing your fabulous MCs for this day and tomorrow. We have the amazing
Marina, Alefosio, talofa lava everyone.
And sup fam, my name's Cam, I'm from Ngāti Puro, and I'm so honoured to be here today. Kia ora te iwi.
E mua o na o whātalofa atu, I le paia ma le mamalu, ma lo le soifo ma le langi a mama. Talofa love everyone. Again, my name is Marina Alefosio. You can call me Rina. I'm Samoan. I have 2 children, they're 15 and 16, and I am Samoan. Woohoo! Woo! Yay! Welcome, as my beautiful MC Cam has said, welcome, welcome, welcome. We hope that we can all come to understand what this waka is for us and how we want to be and involve ourselves in this waka. But I'm going to let Cam just do a nice mihi and thank you to that beautiful pōwhiri that happened this morning.
Awesome. So can we first get some noise for Te Kura Māori o Porirua? And because I think they're on their way back to the kura, could you do that a little bit louder so they can hear you? Just got some tipuna mail, they heard you, Te. We thank you so very much for those warm greetings. And we'd like to thank all of the whānau that held and hosted us for that pōhiri process. It's always amazing to be engaged with things in Te Ao Māori on a national scale. So we've managed to make it fit. This is our marae in the sky. Give it up for the marae in the sky, Michael Fowler Centre. Yeah. Kapa, everybody, and we welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you to Involve 2021, a reunion. New Seas, our waka. Nō reira e raurangatira mā, we thank you for your continued journey, working with our rangatahi, working with our future in your very hands. And we thank you for the contributions you've made to society. So all you young people in and amongst all of these older, younger people, we thank you for being here and for keeping us accountable in the work that we do. Nō reira tēnā koutou. Can we give it up for our rangatahi?
So as everyone's coming in, we just want to start with just a bit of introduction. I know that you guys are going to meet some people that you haven't met before, and this conference is not just about going to workshops and being told by your job, you need to go over there. This is all about connection and learning who is in the space. So right now, for 11 seconds, we're going to ask you guys just to turn to your left or your right or to the person behind you and ask them what brought them to this waka today, what brought them into the youth sector, okay? Awesome.
Ti hei! Ti hei! Ti hei! Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā no tātou. Awesome whānau, can we bring the Māori back down? Bring the Māori back down. Are we up? You amazing people generating connections over there. Oh, we don't. Hello, hello. See, hey. I've got to get used to that. I was yelling at y'all in the nicest way, and I was like, can they hear me? Are they ignoring me? Tēnā koutou ngā iwi. So what was evident in that 11 seconds that just passed was the amount of goodness and the amount of passion you have for the young people in our community. So thank you for strengthening those connections with those around you, and please do not forget to continue to generate those connections throughout the duration of this kaupapa. This waka is all about weaving together all walks of life, all backgrounds, all contexts, all narratives under the one kaupapa of uplifting and upholding our young people, their health, and their continual development in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Nō reira, e te iwi. E te iwi. We thank you for generating those connections, and we've got to go into our health and safety kōrero. So, in the event of a fire, there will be fire wardens stationed at each of the doors, and they belong to the venue staff here. They will escort us out to the fire safety area outside, where it's safe that nothing's going to burn us. In the event of an emergency, same, the staff will be able to chaperone us out. Also, if you look around you, could I get all of the whānau wearing involved shirts to stand up that are staff members? Staff members, are we here? Look around you, whānau, connect with those around you. So those whānau are your lifeguards as we're on our waka. If for any reason any one of us falls off the waka, those whānau over there will be blowing the whistle and chucking those round inflatable donut things to save us. Ka pai?
Thanks, Cam. Also, there is a wellbeing space on level 3, so if things get a bit too much in here and you need a bit of a break, especially during our breakouts, then please just feel free to use that space. It's for you. All of these spaces around my Kōwhauala Centre, there's bean bags and stuff, there's water, so just hydrate yourself throughout the conference. We're going to kickstart this conference with a bit of spoken word. Can you put your hands up if you've ever written a poem before? Some people are like, awesome. So we are blessed in this conference. We have this beautiful organization called Action Education. Their tagline is creativity is necessary, and they use creative-based methods to engage our young people. They are based in Auckland, but they go across New Zealand, and they have kindly brought some young people, some beautiful young poets to share in this kaupapa today. But if you have ever been to a spoken word show, you know that one of the ways that we acknowledge the poetry, if it resonates with us, is we just click. So can I get everyone to click? Yeah? Awesome. Also, if something resonates with you, you can just make some sounds, but not some weird sounds, okay? Just some, Can I get everyone to go, Yes, cool. So the reason why we do that, we don't want to disrupt the poem. We don't want to disrupt this space, so we'll just ask you to clap at the end. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce some beautiful wahine toa. Manaia, Tuwhare-Hoani, and Arihia Hall are going to come and bless us today. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
Tēnā tātou e te whānau. Tuatahira me tautoko i ngā mihi kua rere i te atanei. O tira kia koutou katoa, ko koutou te hunga e whakapaukaha ana, e tora ringa ana ki te awhi, ki te poipoi i te hunga tamariki. Nā reira nei te mihi kia koutou, huri tēnei nō konei, no Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga, no Ngāti Tū Korehe, no Moepoko hoki. Nā reira, e mihi ana, e mihi ana. Kia ora whānau. I just said that I support all the mihi that were going around during the Pōwhiri, and just giving another thanks to all of you who give so much energy into helping our rangatahi. So this is an honour for us to be here, to be a part of this kaupapa with you. So thank you all very much. My name is Arihia, that's Manaia, and during the Pōwhiri, you would have noticed a karanga, and if you aren't quite sure about the meaning of a karanga, this is what that is for us. Oh, we're explaining that in this poem. Kia ora. Growing up, I was told stories of a woman named Tuwhare-Hoani. In Māori culture, it is said that she is the first human, sculpted from sand and called into life by our Earth Mother, Papa Tuanuku. This is the origin of karanga. When a baby is born, the first thing it hears is the voice of a woman. Resembling the sound of a mother giving birth, it is a calling, the first and longest part of an ancient practice, a conversation that is held only by givers of life. Wailing voices flying back and forth between the kaikāranga, the callers. This is how they understood the desires of visiting groups. Always at the front line, stretching vocal cords over acres of land, filling the space between whai tapu and tangata whenua. I come from a long line of women who had libraries of messages enveloped within their voice box. Voices soft and sweet like that of a bird flying through the air to the kaikāranga who held telephone conversations. The vibration in the wind would be the wire connecting the two, who had lungs as deep as oceans. Spines aligned with the walls of the whare, they will sing new stories just like the ones that I have been told. Back when hands were not bound by colonization, before foreign bodies ripped into the flesh of our land and stitched up the wounds with telecommunication wires, stories of how our welcoming ceremonies were a time where men had to wait in order to speak. Now, we are the ones that are told to wait until we are spoken to. Turning the unbelievable into the unacceptable, Western men could never fathom how we could carry our voices to octaves and volumes higher than the towering Kodi trees. They disregarded the way that some wear the history on their skin, have it braided into their hair or etched into stone. I will show them how I hold mine in my throat. I want to be a kaikāranga one day, the first voice that is heard. Each breath caressing the crevices of the earth, shoulders well broken in by the manuka that I am willing to carry. But sometimes, when I feel as though I won't be able to send my voice as far as my mother's could, when it feels like my mouth is sewn shut by the thread of a needle I will never be able to hold, when I'm cut off, silenced, convinced that I am not strong enough to speak, I would close my eyes and listen as they echo through time. Can you hear them? The calls of our fire, can you hear them? Still being carried in the wind, can you hear them? Resonating in my ribcage. This is my legacy. It has been weaved into my lineage by my grandmother's hands, smiling softly as her mother sings, and her mother sings, and her mother sings, knowing that this tradition will live on with every daughter that is called into life. Kia ora.
Thank you to Arihia Hall and Manaia Tuwhare-Hoani from Action Education. If you are interested in learning more about their poetry, just go to Action Education. A lot of their videos are on YouTube and support them and follow them. Don't follow them around, I just mean follow them online. Okay, all right, we're going to kickstart things with our first keynote. And we're very, very blessed to have amazing keynote speakers throughout this conference. And our first one is no stranger to the youth sector. I want to introduce you guys to Rod Baxter, who is the current CEO of the Princess Trust. He has 20 plus years of youth sector experience. He's no stranger to this conference. In fact, he emceed the conference last year with the beautiful Christina Leaf. And he also is into X-Men. So, you know. So I'm going to get Rod to introduce himself and his young people and what he's brought us all here for today. So without further ado, instead of clapping for him, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and everyone say kia ora, Rod. 3, 2, 1.
Kua tāwhiti ki te haerenga mai, kia kore I haere tonu. He tino nui rawa o mahi, kia kore I mahi tonu. You have come too far not to go further. You have done too much not to go more. Ko kaukau te maunga te runei taku ngākau. Kaukau is the mountain that speaks to my heart. I've walked up to it since I was a child. I proposed to my now husband up there, and we see it from our kitchen window. Ko kore mako te awa e mahia nei aku mā harahara. Kore mako is the river that alleviates my worries. We see it from our lounge window, and we walk down there sometimes when we need to be still. Nor te whare manaki o Ngaio ahau. I'm from Ngaio. I live in a place blessed that was named Te Whare Manaki. I mostly work from home with a remote team called the Prince's Trust Aotearoa New Zealand. Te Whare Manaki is also where I meet with people for supervision. E mihi aha ki ngā tohu o nehi o te whanganui atara e noho nei au. I recognise the ancestral and spiritual landmarks of Wellington, where I live, where we are gathered today, and where I'm very grateful it's not as cold as yesterday. I was feeling a little bit embarrassed with all of our manuhiri. I'd like to express gratitude 3 times to start this session off this morning. Firstly, gratitude to the involved rōpū and the kaimahi for the invitation to speak this morning. Gratitude to all of you, including those who are joining online and via later access. Hello to the future. And most importantly, gratitude to the young people who have, are, and will teach me and all of us. The focus of this kōrero, and actually it's a thread running through many of the sessions at Involve 2021, is whai wāhitanga, a fresh approach for youth participation that embraces this new whakaaro as part of mana tairohi. So here's an overview of the next half an hour or so. We'll start with a question for you via Slido. I'm going to share a few introductory ideas, and we'll keep Slido open for Q&A. We'll define the kupu and whakaaro of whai wāhitanga with Anaru te Rangiwhakaewa. I'll connect all of this to some current context. I'll tell you a story. You'll have a very quick reflective chat in pairs to digest what we've been talking about. We'll regroup with a quick 2-minute video. I'll share 2 relevant theories. And then, most importantly, we're going to finish with a panel of young people who are here to keep us honest. And they're going to be sticking around with us afterwards for Breakout 1. So, let's get underway with that Slido question. A shockingly simple question, perhaps. How do you define youth? So whilst you're sharing your thoughts there in Slido, I think I should remind us that we are all here committed in some capacity to serving young people. Collectively, we include paid professionals, vocational volunteers, and many of you are young people yourselves. We represent all the facets of work with young people: youth workers, researchers, youth mentoring advocates, youth health clinicians, policy writers, decision makers, ethicists, kai whakamana, managers, educators, students, whānau, activists, faith communities, facilitators, humanitarians, innovators. The list goes on. We may serve young people in different ways. We may focus on the diverse needs that young people have. The outcomes we achieve may be varied. However, we are essentially serving the same population. This is what unites us. So how united are we in our common understanding of who young people actually are, and then what they may need? Let's see what Slido has to say. Thank you for these whakaaro, they're lovely, and we'll keep them scrolling through. We have some diverse understandings here, and it strikes me that young people don't often describe themselves as young people. Youth, teenager, or adolescent. It's a pervasive historical and sociological idea, largely from Western societies, that has been designed to limit and control a significant group of humanity. Howard Circum defines youth as that emerging adult population which is excluded from participation because of a perception of age-based risk. Let's leap back to the PowerPoint. Thank you, tech magicians. So therefore, young people are defined by exclusion. Society regularly reminds young people of all the things they can't yet do because they're too young and it's not safe. They would apparently be dangerous drinkers, manipulated voters, unsuitable spouses, irresponsible gamblers, bad tenants, tamir, tamir, tamir. Apparently, 14 is too young for all of this. However, I have some 40-year-old friends who aren't quite there yet either. We do well when we remember that young people are people, not some exotic type of alien species. If the population we serve face exclusion, our work, therefore, must prioritise inclusion. This means we are participatory and strengths-focused. We see young people as active contributors rather than passive recipients of a service. This is an orientation that is more congruent with the traditional Indigenous perspectives of tangata whenua. I am attempting to uphold my responsibilities as Pākehā and tangata tiriti. Working with Tāwahi Māori and young people in this whenua called Aotearoa requires us to look back, relearn and celebrate the natural role and location of taiohi in communities. This is traditional Indigenous, pre-colonial and contemporary responses led by tangata whenua. According to Te Oronganui Josie Keelan's 2014 book, Ngā Reanga, she quotes from 1838 that an ethnographer, so somebody who was studying whānau hapu and iwi, noticed that tamariki and taiohi ask questions in the most numerously attended assemblies of chiefs, who answer them with an air of respect, as if they were a corresponding age to themselves. I do not remember a request of an infant being treated by neglect, wrote the ethnographer, or a demand from one of them being slighted. It seems to me that exclusion is not a comfortable practice for whānau hapu and iwi, whom prioritise inclusion and belonging. So to help us check that today, I've asked Arataiohi's kaitiaki kaupapa, Anaru te Rangiwhakaewa, to join us on stage and break down the whakaaro. Please welcome Anaru. Tēnā koe Anaru, ko waio, tell us a bit about yourself and your mahi.
Mauri ora ki te whare, tēnei te mihi ki ao koutou, ko waio, ko Anaru te Rangiwhakaewa tōku ingoa, he uri tēnei o rangi tāne me taitanga a māhaki, e noho iho au ki te karu o te ika, Wairarapa, e mahi ana au ki te rōpū o Arataiohi, me te rōpū o rangatahi tū rangatira, nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou.
Kia ora. Hei aha tō whakaro o te kupu whai wāhitanga.
Kapa, so hands up if you know what whai wāhitanga is. Any hands up there, whai wāhitanga? Kapa. In the mana taiohi principles, the term whai wāhitanga is about young people chasing their place in the world. But my strength, my number one strength is context, so I try to look a bit deeper. And we all know that te reo Māori has so many layers of depths of beautiful whakaaro. And so when we look at the word whai wāhitanga in particular, we can really break that down to some specific meanings that can enable us and inform the way that we connect with our rangatahi. So the word whai can be to pursue or chase, but it also means to acquire and to have. Wāhi or wā is our time and space and the world around us, the environment, and he is to draw up from. And so if I think about that in my own head, it looks like a relationship with papa tuanuku, with the environment around you. and how that can inform the way that we work with our rangatahi is that we are all an extension of the world around us. And so if we can become an equal role as well as our rangatahi to be part of a ngāhere, the environment, then we can create better relationships with our young people, which can enable transformative change and growth to all young people in Aotearoa. So whai wāhitanga for me is about connection, whakapapa, being present, and also equality with our young people.
Kia ora Anaru, homai te paki whānau. Thanks, bro. So let's digest what we've just learned. Whai wāhitanga means that young people chase their place. It means that participation is more than just turning up and being present in attendance. It's more than having a say. It's more than being involved in decision making. It's definitely more than consultation, and co-design doesn't cut it anymore. Participation has been the most consistent thread in my journey of youth work practice, and it still feels very different right here and right now. To participate, whai wahi, to chase your place, the pursuit, an ongoing journey, and the place is more than physical or geographic. It's about potential, responsibility, leadership, opportunity, and relationships. Whai wāhitanga is much less individualistic than previous iterations of youth participation. So here are 5 well-known and recent examples of young people finding their place. Each example is collective, hyper-connected, and intergenerational. The school strike for climate in 2019 was part of a global youth movement started by Greta Thunberg, who is potentially the most famous teenager in the world right now. Greta acknowledges the support of her family and the inherent superpowers she possesses that some people have diagnosed as autism. Pānia Newton became the face of kaitiakitanga and land protection at Ihu Mātau. And thousands of other people, young and old, flooded to support the peaceful occupation. A group of students in Ōtautahi Christchurch founded Culture to Change earlier this year with chalk graffiti about sexual assault and rape culture. They developed their kaupapa to advocate for better education about sex and consent in schools. The organisers are also anonymous. 16-year-old Ben Norris was at Plymerton Beach with some mates a few weeks ago when they noticed a stranded baby orca, whom they rescued. Ben stayed with Tor and developed a strong bond, particularly with the other adults who knew how to care for Tor. This moment has changed Ben's life, and he now wants to work in marine biology. 3 brothers in Horowhenua, aged 5, 7, and 8, spend hours collecting litter because they're deeply worried that birds could die by consuming rubbish. They call themselves the Waste Warriors. Sadly, these stories are criticised or patronised by adults in power, typically media and politicians, but also random members of the public. The Ihu Mātau occupiers were claimed to be disrespecting elders as rangatahi versus rangatira. However, this was refuted by the kaumatua that stood alongside them. The Culture to Change students were harassed during a public event by an older man who made violent and transphobic accusations, and after getting irate, he actually tried to punch some of the young people involved. The police took some time to arrive. Young people's engagement with issues such as Black Lives Matter and the crisis in Yemen are demeaned as meaningless collectivism and jumping on bandwagons. This all erodes the power that young people have and their legitimate expressions of issues of interest. The student strike for climate protesters were criticised as mere truants. Wellington High School student Micah Gehringer was refreshingly honest about his original intention to WAG school. However, after meeting some inspiring people outside the beehive, he realised the potential power in his participation. You could say he started chasing his place. It was no longer about wagging, it was about making a difference. And as Micah discovered his agency, he also needed to negotiate with his parental and school regulations, and he decided to betray both of these. There's a tension here that is actually core to the definition of youth work. It's called the sociology of regulation versus the sociology of change. A sociology of regulation for young people facilitates personal development, character building, social skills, and healthy lifestyles so they can be appropriate citizens in the existing society. A sociology of change engages young people in critical education, exploring experience, raising consciousness, bringing about radical social change, and improving society. Does your work with young people force them to conform to society, or does it really enable personal and social change? Do you maintain the status quo, or do you support young people to make the world a better place? How do you help young people find their place? Are the young people you work with given adult-imposed labels that limit their place? The problem with labels is that they reduce options and dampen potential. ADHD is allegedly a disorder. NEAT is if you're not doing something you should be. And YAL is the latest acronym I've heard about, stands for Youth at Risk of Limited Employment Outcomes. Who defines themselves... I'm really glad you laughed at that. My husband thought that was not a funny joke. Who defines themselves by what they're not? You don't go to a party and introduce yourself like, "Hi, I'm not Samantha, and this is my friend, not Brian." We're constantly reminding young people of who they're not, rather than listening to who they are and who they aspire to be. And this current generation has faced more adversity than potentially any other. Their childhoods were in the backdrop of devastating earthquakes and increasingly extreme weather events, creating natural disasters. The internet has exposed them to violence, police brutality, racist attacks, and for many, the live stream of the mosque shooting was something they didn't have a choice about viewing. We're in the midst of the deadliest global pandemic in more than a century, whilst countries struggle to maintain mutations of the virus. And meanwhile, economic inequality and upheaval impacts their financial independence, making things like home ownership that other generations have taken for granted unlikely. And meanwhile, we're a little bit surprised that young people are apparently in a mental health crisis, and we're sort of blaming them for using too much social media. I'd like to tell you a short story about the day that a couple of us from the Prince's Trust went to an Oranga Tamariki residence. We were there to run a 2-hour consultation workshop that would help us design an education program that would support young people in the uncertain future of work. We were supposed to ask questions like, what kind of life do you want? What would support that? How do you want to make a living? And what are you living for? It was all about education, employability, and entrepreneurship. We were talking with young people about the skills they need to live, learn, and earn. The guys there didn't connect with these ideas, and the consultation was going badly, very badly. When I'm facilitating a consultative chat, I prefer that young people hold the pen and write the notes. Did you know that in residence they're not really allowed felt pens? Because everything is considered a weapon and there's zero trust. Anyway, I was setting up with this small group and they were sussing me out. I'll tell you a little bit about them and know that I've changed the details for confidentiality and privacy. So one guy, 16 years old, told me he's the father of 4 kids to 4 different young women. He said, almost to himself, I wonder if I'll ever get to meet my kids. He sat down at the table and started swinging on his chair in that kind of non-committal way of half engaging. He didn't care who was holding the pen. Another guy, let's call him Scott, really struggled to listen. He interrupted every question or sentence. I had to quickly develop a way of saying 3-word sentences, and even those would get interrupted. Scott became increasingly agitated and eventually yelled at me. And what I'm about to say is a direct quote, and unfortunately there's no way of sharing this without extreme profanity. Scott said, "What the fuck, man? What the fuck? My brain is fucked. I've smoked drugs every day for years, every fucking day. I only stopped when I got locked up in here. I'm fucked. I ain't getting a job. I'm fucked. The father of 4 was still swinging on his chair, smiling, waiting for my response. I took a deep breath and I said, look, I don't really know what all those drugs do to the brain. It's probably bad. It's probably going to be harder for you than anyone else to get a job, study something, start a business, however you want to make a living. But I have to believe, Scott, if you want it that much, you can. Scott didn't interrupt me this time. He took a deep breath, looked me in the eyes, and asked, do you really have hope for me? And then the father of 4 stopped swinging on his chair and asked, do you have hope for me too? I walked out of there that day asking myself, how could hope be such a foreign concept for those kids in that residence? Hope, helping other possibilities emerge. Emily Ehlers recently released a book called Hope is a Verb, 6 Steps to Radical Optimism When the World Seems Broken. Emily reveals that studies indicate that when people have hope, they're better able to manage stress, cope with setbacks, think creatively, and achieve their goals. Climate change, pandemics, racism, economic uncertainty. No wonder so many young people are experiencing anxiety and even panic about their future. When times are hard, it's a hell of a lot easier to lose hope than hold on to it. And expecting to simply have hope is a type of magical thinking that puts you at the mercy of your circumstance. For hope to be meaningful, effective, and empowering, it requires your participation. Hope isn't just something you have, it's something you do. This is strengths-based practice. It's mana taiohi. Whai wāhitanga is hopeful, mana-centric, radically strengths-based youth participation in everything you do. So ask yourself, how do you do hope? I'd like you to take 2 minutes to chat to someone nearby about the hope you have for young people and how this manifests in your practice. We're going to play a video in about 2 minutes, which you'll see come up, and that'll be the way that we regroup rather than me interrupting you. I'd like you to think about how you can embed whai wāhitanga in what you do.
Creatively, I've always been fairly confident, but when it comes to actually the business side of things is where I'm sort of a bit lost. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know how to get to that point. The Prince's Trust helped me figure out the steps that I want to take to reach what I wanted to reach. So with starting the business, intellectual property, and a big thing in the creative industry is how do you actually price your work? So initially the hope was to kind of just have a product, but now I want to turn the whole thing into a business under the name Swampy, a skatewear brand that at the beginning stages will mainly focus on t-shirts and skateboards and that kind of apparel. Even since we did the course, there's been a few different little opportunities that have popped up for me since to produce my own work and also collaborate with other creators. I feel more confident that I could actually do it myself. The Prince's Trust was actually the first certificate that I ever got, like, my whole life. So it was mum loaded me in the car to go get a frame sort of while the print was still hot. So it was a really proud moment for not only for me personally, but to show that to my family and sort of show that, you know, we're on the journey, things are starting to happen. I'm very hopeful in it because I'm also very invested in it. So the trajectory is looking pretty good.
But in case you're wondering, it's called the Prince's Trust Aotearoa New Zealand, and we're backing young New Zealanders as the designers, dreamers, creators and workers of a more equitable, sustainable and prosperous future. Since we had a story just from before the break about an Oranga Tamariki residence, I thought we could regroup with this poem written by a young lad in Tupunawai in Ōtautahi. This comes from a new collection of poetry called How Did I Get Here? Soliloquies of Youth, edited by Ben Brown. System by Zach. The system is corrupt because they take kids that have a good family. They take kids without asking them if their family is a good one for them. We will never know why they do not ask the kid. So far this morning, we have defined youth as exclusion. We've understood whai wāhitanga is to chase your place. We've explored the current context that young people are in. We've named some recent examples of youth-led activism. We've considered the dichotomies in the sociologies of regulation and radical change, and we've embraced the importance of hope. We have two things left to do: a rapid theory download and a panel of 3 young voices to test these theories. There are potentially more models for youth participation than any other dimension of youth development, and most of us have probably heard of Roger Hart's ladder from 1992. It's time to get off the ladder and put it away in the shed for good. It's a North American perspective that muted inspiration from 1960s feminism. It presents participation in a linear and hierarchical fashion. Essentially, it does have a handful of useful ideas. It reminded us that participation could be about decision-making. We need to know who initiated the project, adults or young people, and if we're sharing power. Consultation and delegated responsibilities are valid if young people are informed fully before and after, and tokenism, decoration, and manipulation are not good. None of the dozens of models really help young people chase their place. Most youth participation models are organisationally focused and adult-centric. The models acknowledge that adults have the power, which may be structurally and systemically true, yet we still need process-driven approaches that start with young people. Ani Wāhitanga from Melbourne is one of the few people who co-created a youth participation framework with young people almost 20 years ago. And I'm really surprised that it's taken us this time to discover it. It's available in this report, which you can download, called Sharing a New Story. That tension that we noted earlier between the sociologies of regulation and change reappears in Wāhitanga's work. She says that participation can be used as a mechanism for social control, occupying young people, keeping them out of trouble. But better practice is about meaningful engagement. recognising young people as co-creators of their communities. Wāhitanga suggests that participation is not a program, but rather the purpose of our work and a pathway for young people to either serve or shape society. Wāhitanga and the young research team boldly named several of the issues with distorted youth participation. It can favour those with privilege and it can professionalise young people. She says, by being co-opted into the system, do young people stop representing other young people? And Anna, one of the young researchers, described this as training the shit out of one young person and them not being a young person anymore. They become an adult trapped in a young person's body. You lose the young person's perspective. Can a youth activist really know what your average teen thinks and wants? I've noticed this in youth representation when young people describe their peers as them rather than us. So here's Wāhitanga's star. It includes 3 essential elements and 7 pointers for practice. The 3 essential elements include meaning, doing something that has a greater purpose that I believe in. Control, making decisions, being heard, and having what it takes to see the task through. And connectedness, working with others. Young people are drawn to things that have been going for a while and will endure into the future. And these 3 essential elements, in many ways, I've been thinking this week, act as the antithesis to the 3 lower levels of Heart's Ladder. Meaning might be the antidote to decoration when young people connect with purpose. Control might be the opposite of manipulation when young people are clear about their role, choices, and responsibilities. Connectedness might be the solution to tokenism when young people have authentic relationships with peers and supportive adults. Wāhitanga says, not surprisingly, there are clear parallels between these 3 central themes and the things that any young person needs to participate in social life at all. And this makes sense. Surely our work is not about equipping high-powered youth advocates, but equipping all young people to critically and creatively engage in the communities in which they live. And then the 7 pointers for practice. Storying, we start with young people's stories. We listen to them and find out about young people's hopes, dreams, and aspirations. We affirm their strengths so we can identify what's needed in stage 4, resourcing, which is giving what they need to engage fully in the opportunity. As a result of involving young people, organisations may realise that some things need to change. This could include removing barriers and considering if any systems, like bureaucracy, slow progress to a pace that disillusions young people. That's step 5, creatively reworking structure and process. And then the last 2 stages are about relationships. Firstly, honouring the formal relationship, which is highly intentional and ethical, and ultimately nurturing the informal relationship. Youth work doesn't really end, even though young people aren't young for very long. Therefore, we need to design ways for taina to become tuakana and pass learning to emerging generations of future participants. The ultimate end goal of whai wāhitanga is to include young people, acknowledge their agency, hear their voice, and empower their choices. Young people stay connected and become mentors, volunteers, and leaders. This is the long-term ripple effect. So it's certainly time to practice what we preach and invite some young people to share their thoughts. Please welcome on stage our panel, Hemi, Rangiwhetu Shepherd, Bella Simpson, and Fletcher Howell. This for the interpreter. Yeah. We've added an extra seat, even though we rehearsed this. All right, so these 3 incredible young people have been invited to join us today because they represent a continuum in youth involvement and participation. All right, and so we're going to structure just a couple of our questions around Wāhitanga's model. This is a taste, and then we're going to continue the conversation in breakout 1. So first of all, let's hear from each of you. Ko waio, tell us a little bit about your story, your name, where you live, and briefly your involvement in youth stuff.
I'm Hemi, I'm 14, and I'm in Auckland. I've been in Heart for Youth for about 6 years. It's like a youth trust thing, and yeah.
Sure, thanks, Hemi.
I'm Fletcher. I'm 18. I'm was born and live in Wellington, and I work within the OFLC in a youth advisory panel where we just kind of analyze film and media productions for rating.
Kia ora. I'm Bella. I'm from Wellington. I'm 25. Sometimes I feel like a bit of a show pony. I just show up places and smile. But I've worked in the youth space, in the wider LGBTI space for the last decade, just showing up and smiling and saying hello.
And what's your role at Evolve at the moment?
I'm currently the chair for Evolve. So Evolve is one of our youth one-stop shops here in Wellington, and it's a really awesome opportunity to lead our board and support our staff and provide wraparound support for our rangatahi in Wellington.
Cool. All right, so this is a question for any of you. I don't know what these guys are going to talk about. We've had a prep chat and been hanging out a little bit, but the point of this is not scripted. So any of you, what are your hopes for the community, and how come you're involved in these organisations that meet those hopes?
Well, for me personally, because I have a vested interest in film. I study film at Massey, and I hope to work in the industry. So it's like, for working within the OFLC, my hope is to see like kind of the inside of the industry and the post-production aspect of it, and to be able to collaborate on what people in Aotearoa are going to view, because it'll shape like our zeitgeist as a culture. So it's like really important to get that kind of internal decision about what's valuable.
Cool. Lots of people right now are Googling the word zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's a great word.
How about you, Hemi? How come you're involved?
I was listening, but what was the question again?
How come you're involved in Heart for Youth?
When I was about like 9, I was born here. We moved up to Auckland and we were struggling a bit. So we got referred to Heart for Youth with the Kazi Ross there. Sup, Ross? I got paired up with a mentor, and yeah, I've been there for like 6 years.
Cool. All right, so what do young people need to support their participation? What do you think about that, Bella?
I think that we've got a real culture of pedestaling young people, and we put a lot of pressure on young people to carry a huge amount of responsibility. And I think sometimes we forget that we are young people also trying to live our lives, work out who we are and grow and learn. And obviously with that is going to come its own challenges. So that I think is a big thing for the entire youth sector, I think, to think about. And there's no right or wrong way of how youth participation works, but currently we have very high levels of burnout within our youth activism space.
Cool. Okay, so maybe a final question for all three of you, and this is a kind of taste test of the breakout, but also many of the people in this room might be thinking about doing things a bit differently in their organisation, like reworking their structure and process, thinking about the relationship. So what's your advice for organisations who want to involve young people? Be good to hear from all three of you, and any of you can start.
My advice would be like, heaps in an organisation there's always going to be like a couple standout kids that aren't really like shy to talk to like the bosses and stuff, and like I reckon like them getting together with like all the other kids and just having a chat about everything, and then like them talking to the boss is like pretty mean.
Cool, that's good. Thank you, Hemi. There's some clicks in the room. Fletcher.
Well, so at the UFLC we work on a panel, so we have this like really dedicated young group of super opinionated, wonderful people, and really our advantage, or the thing that we do that kind of separates us, is we manage to give the people on the panel different opportunities to grow and spread out and teach each other. Like, for example, right now I got selected to come and do this and help everyone else and tell them about my experience. So it's like growing as a small community.
Cool. And Bella?
I think instead of just giving young people a seat at the table, we should just be given the table. We should, I think...
Cool.
Evolve is a really awesome example of this. Our board is, half of the board is to the age of 30, one of the chairs is to the age of 30. In that way, we've always got strong youth participation model. And there's ways that needs to be rethought and grow and change, but it's been a really solid ground to make sure that youth participation is consistently there, and that it's not a bunch of old pale stale dudes saying what they think. Yeah, that'd be my thoughts.
Okay, good. Well, back to a pale, stale dude to finish us off. I'm really glad this group, they were here to keep me honest. So, hey, thank you for sharing those words. If you want to hear more, then in breakout 1, come and join us on stage. We'll move the chairs and we'll hang out up here. If you want to learn more about participation theory and ethical practice, join the workshop in breakout 2 with Hannah and Sarah. Fletcher is also part of the Classification Officers Youth Advisory Panel 101 workshop in breakout 3. And the New Zealand Youth Mentoring Network are about to launch another workshop roadshow, which is all about whai, wāhitanga in youth mentoring. Head to their stall to learn more about when it's coming to a town near you. So I'd like to close with a challenge for you. Whai wāhitanga is not optional nor additional, but central to youth development and a distinguishing feature of youth work globally, historically, and indigenously. We are the movement, and young people are depending on you to find the ways in which what you offer can be more participatory. How are you going to help young people chase their place? Thank you. So we'll just hang out up here. Stay here.
Tēnā tātou, that brings us to the official end of our keynote kōrero. Amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I loved the first performance of our girls talking about karanga. Here's your microphone. And I also, and I really enjoyed the kōrero about whai wāhitanga, and that we actually get to hear it from the mouths of our rangatahi. Nō reira, e ngā kai whakamana o mō ngā rangatira mō apopo, tēnei au kamihi atu ki a koe, ki a koutou ngā rangatira mō apopo. Mahia te mahi, tuia ki ngā tangata i konei, kia whakamana, kia whakakaha, kia whakapakari i tō koutou ake. Tino rangatiratanga. Anō reira, big mihi up to everybody here, everyone! Awesome. So we have two kōrero for you. So if y'all didn't know, I'm just putting my bits everywhere, Rod is an author of one of the... I know what I just said. It came to me 2 seconds after, fam, forgive me. I haven't had coffee yet. Rod is one of our, has been an author for the Journal of Youth Work, the Kaipara Huarahi, and they've just been released today. So if you go down into the foyer, which is a flash way of saying the ground floor where all the whānau are down there, the involved shop is open, and there are some stuff that you may be able to purchase, such as this. Get your pre-orders in now. In addition, they've also got some Navigating Youth Work ethics cards. These are extremely helpful for engaging courageous conversations with our young people around ethics, around culture, around identity. If you want to come have a nohi, I'll leave them up on the stage, and if somebody's around, just say, hey, pass me that, can I have a jam? Otherwise, go downstairs to the foyer and talk to the whānau, and they'll be able to suss you out with this. And in addition, registrations were underway. Unfortunately, one whānau fell off our waka, and so I'm going to be the person to chuck out the donut. Is Stella Ray Morris Matchett here? Kia ora dia, tēnā koe. Say hi. Hi. Hey. How are you? How are you doing, dear? Kapa you. Just when we go into breakout 1, please pop into the registration desk, have a kōrero with the whānau down there, write your name down and you'll get this flash booklet with the flash bags and all the flash giveaways in it. Kapa? Sweet. Speaking about the flash booklet,
from after this is we're going to go into our first breakout, but I hope from the challenges that Rod gave us in terms of hope, and I hope that we're all here because we believe in that. We believe in what Rod was talking to us about, that we're here for our young people. We're going to take it back. So this breakout session, this is all about you guys. I hope you guys have managed to look through it, but if you haven't, pull it out. Page 6, okay? Page 6, we'll talk about all the breakout sessions that are happening, okay? I'm not going to read through all of them, but I would encourage you, just pick one, okay? Don't be those ones and just go to each one and see what you want to do. Just be respectful of those people running the workshop. And then I just want to let you know that the breakout sessions will happen across the centre, and there's a map at the back of your book which will tell you where the rooms are. But at lunchtime, Jono Selu from Te Ngākau Kahukura is going to be holding a space to talk about the rainbow community and some resources that they have from Te Ngākau Kahukura. So at lunchtime, you're welcome to that. Then it's our third breakout, and then it's back here into the auditorium, okay? So I hope you guys have fun. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Please look after each other. Thank you.
hey.